Hi everyone, it's Stacy. Thank you for joining me and thank you for coming on this yoga leap with me. We have a fun flow today. Last week, if you did join me, we did a bit of a stretching yoga for runners, just to stretch out the hips a bit. So regardless of whether you're a runner, a walker, or just a person and you want to stretch out, check out last week's video. This week, we're going to be a little more dynamic. We're going to work on some balance, some static balances, meaning we're not moving, and then we're going to try out and see how we go with a bit of movement in our balance. And then we'll stretch it all out sitting in the chair and, of course, finish with the relaxation. So if you're ready to get going, you'll notice I have my chair here. I will be moving from the chair to the mat. So if you're waiting for an option, go ahead and just find a couple breaths in the posture you're in, and I should be catching up with you soon. Other props, blocks, straps, bolsters, pillows, blankets, whatever you want are welcome. I just don't really cue with them because I'm never sure what people have at home. So with that all being said, let's start standing up on our mats. Actually, no, I'm kidding. Let's start seated with a comfortable cross-legged position, and we'll take it from there. I'll meet you back on the mat in a moment. So I thought we'd maybe stand, but I think we'll start seated. So make your way down to the mat, all the way down, or if you're practicing in your chair, make yourself comfortable in your chair. The flow for today is generally, of course, I'm going to try and cue all the options, but we're going to start on our mat here with a warm up. Then we're going to try some balance postures standing, and I'll show a few options in the chair, seated in the chair, but we'll use the chair as a prop for stability. Or if you don't have a chair, a wall or anything that you can use for stability is welcome. And then we're going to do a little bit of stretching in the chair only. So if you normally don't practice your stretches in the chair, if you have one, I encourage you to try it out. It's always good to come into as many yoga classes and as many events in life with a bit of a beginner mindset and just seeing where it takes us. So with that all being said, let's settle into a comfortable seated position, sitting up nice and tall on our sit bones. We want to find a nice, tall, open core, so a little bit of room for the air to flow, but we also want to stay nice and loose and comfortable. If you have a back to your chair, go ahead and settle into that. We just don't want to slouch too much. We do want to make sure we're nice and open for the air to flow. Ooh, I don't know where you are. It's nice and hot in where I am today, and I'm not complaining because, well, it's almost summer, and it hasn't really been super hot where I am. I do love the heat, but my little yoga studio feels quite warm today, so bear with me if I sound a little out of breath. I am. All right, let's settle in. If it's comfortable for you, you can close your eyes. Otherwise, just turning the gaze down, finding something nice and still to rest your gaze on while we settle into our practice here. Hands can come to our lap with the palms turned down or turned up. So if you turn the palms up, this might invite more energy into your practice. So if you're feeling like you want more energy, you might want to start with palms turned up. If you're feeling like the energy is already high enough and you need to bring the energy down a bit for whatever reason, turning the palms down, connecting to your body, grounding down through the earth, your body, might help bring that energy down a bit. So choosing an option that feels best for you, let's just spend a few moments noticing the natural flow of our breath. So we just want to see where it's flowing. Where is it getting stuck? I'm noticing today it's high up in my chest. It's struggling to fill my belly. It's okay. There's no right or wrong with breathing naturally. Notice other qualities of the breath as well. Maybe the sound, the temperature, the speed that you're finding each breath. And as we start to quiet our minds and bodies, we might want to think of a little motto for ourselves for our practice today. Knowing we're going to be working on balance, maybe your motto is something simple like, I am balanced. Or if I have encouraged you to try doing some of the practice in your chair today, and it feels new and awkward, maybe your motto might be, I'm open to new things. Or maybe your motto is just, I am. You can come back to this motto, this mantra at any time if you find that you start to drift away from the present moment, from your body, what you're doing in that moment, in that posture, and in that breath. And just repeat your motto to yourself. It will help bring you back. Let's take one more breath here, and then we'll start to deepen the breath and bring movement to the breath as well. If the eyes are closed, maybe fluttering them open, just engaging with the space around you, especially if you need to adjust your eyes to light. And then we're going to start breathing and moving. Let's take a big inhale as we sweep our arms up. Reach for the sky, feel nice length down both sides of the body. Inhale here, now we've created all this room, and then exhale, let's just lower the hands down. Let's do that again. Inhale, moving and breathing at your own pace, but maybe just reaching and taking one more little sip of air before exhaling. One more time, inhale. And exhale. All right, let's take a big inhale up here this time. Let's let the left hand fall down, right hand reaches over. We'll find a side bend, stay heavy through the right hip. Stay connected to your chair or floor. Stay for another breath, stay nice and open. And on the inhale here, reach up. And we'll go to the other side, exhale. Stay nice and heavy this time through the opposite side. So we're nice and heavy down the left side of the body, reaching, opening, breathing here for another full cycle. And then we'll flow with our breath side to side. We inhale and exhale over. Inhale and exhale. One more on each side. Inhale, exhale, and last one. We'll reach all the way up here. Inhale here. Let's exhale, reach the hands behind. See if we can clasp the knuckles and the fingers, or reach the knuckles down towards the earth. If you can't clasp your knuckles, just pretend you're holding on, squeezing the ball behind you. You can stay nice and open and lifted here, or you may want to fold forward a little bit. Reach the knuckles straight back or up, depending on the flexibility in your shoulders. Find a couple of breaths. And then on the inhale, come on back up. Exhale to release. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up and down. One more time, inhale up. Let's clasp the fingers up at towards the ceiling here. And then we're going to exhale and round. So we're doing a bit of a seated cat-cow. So the palms are facing your face here, rounding through the spine. I'll show you from the side. Here we're rounding through the spine, feeling open through the back, breathing into that space between shoulder blades. Then we're going to flip the palms towards the wall and ceiling. Inhale, find an opposite movement here with a bit of an arch in the back, making sure we're lifting and reaching up and over. We don't just want to dump into our low back here. So inhale here, and then exhale, flip those palms round through the spine. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale. Let's exhale, release the hands down. Good. Shake it all out. We're going to uncross the legs, make our way to all fours, so to our tabletop, where we want to make sure we stack our wrists under shoulders, shoulders over wrists. Spread the fingers nice and wide, big, open, wide fingers here, and root down into the mat with the feet as well. The tops of feet press into the mat, the hands press into the mat. I'll show you some options in the chair here. We're just going to flow with a little bit of spinal balance, but while you're on the floor, do a couple cat-cows. I'm going to show the option in the chair, so just wait for me to join you and we'll get into our first balance. In the chair, if you are seated in the chair for the first balance, we're going to just scooch to the edge of the chair so we can lift up our legs, and we're going to engage through the belly here. And for our spinal balance, we're going to be lifting opposite arm and foot up. You'll feel your weight shift, so you'll have to engage through the core, and that's our balance here. It's okay that we're seated in the chair. We're feeling that balance and core work. So we're going to inhale to reach opposite arm and leg forward, and this is going to be our spinal balance here. If you're on the mat and you're waiting for me here to catch up with you, finish off your last cycle of cat-cow. And then find that neutral spine, and here we go. From chair or floor, let's reach left leg out, right arm forward. Let's see if we can lift them off the mat, see how we're feeling. Try to keep the hip down towards the mat, so if it starts to open up, draw that left hip down. So we're really feeling the core engage. We're balancing, so we're starting with our balance practice here. Take an inhale, and then lower. Let's switch sides. Right leg, left arm reaches. Keep that right hip dropped down towards the mat. Take an inhale for length and lower. So moving with our breath, we're reaching out. We're not trying to lift up. We're not cranking through the low back here. Lower down, switch sides. So just finding length here. Hip drops down and lower. Good. A couple more times on each side. Feeling that core work, feeling the balance work in this movement. One more, each side. And lower. Great. Let's send the hips back, find a child's pose. If you're in the chair, you can just fold forward over the lap, melt down, find your child's pose here. Take a few breaths, breathe into the low back, breathe into the backside body. All right, let's make our way up to standing. If you'd like to flow through a downward dog, go ahead, make your way up. We'll meet you there. If you are looking to use any kind of prop and support, you can bend one leg, you can use the chair to help you up. Any way to get up to the top of the mat. Find yourself standing at the top of the mat in your mountain pose. Just take a minute to connect feet to the mat. Engage through the core. We really want to engage through all the muscles in balance. So balance is about balance, but strength, breathing, relaxation, and being very present. So let's just start by connecting to some of that strength we're going to need in our balance. Really root down through the feet, lift and spread the toes, maybe even rock back and forth a little bit. Same in the chair, really feel that connection to the chair and the feet on the mat. Engage with the legs if you're standing, engage with the core whether you're seated or standing, so pull that belly in. You can even rotate the pelvis under a little bit, and we'll all take a couple shoulder rolls here. Oh, it's warm in my studio. You know, I don't hate it, I will say, but it is warm. We need to take a water break halfway through, we'll see. All right, so we're engaging through the muscles. Let's take a couple of breaths. All right, let's get into it. We're going to get into a bit of a balance sequence, and then we'll make our way back down to the chair. And as I mentioned at the top of the class, we're going to do our stretching in the chair today. If you don't have a chair, no problem. You can do it seated. And I'm going to be using the chair as a prop, as a balance for myself. If you have a wall or a couch or a table or anything you want to use for that, you can do that too. Now, I'm just going to turn my chair around a little bit. You don't have to move your chair around. If it's a big, heavy chair, don't worry about it. Just position yourself accordingly or stay seated, like I said. We'll show a couple of options. So to begin with, facing either just the front of your mat or however you want to position yourself, we're going to either using the chair as support or bringing our hands to our hips or heart center, wherever you feel most balanced for balance poses, wherever you feel most stable for balance poses is what I was trying to say there. And we're going to just step the, transfer the weight into the right foot, come up on those left toes. So sort of just bending through that left leg, coming up on these left toes here. And even if you've chosen hands at heart or hands on hips, you can always change your mind and use the chair for support. We never know how our balance is going to be each day, or each moment really. So let's see how we're doing here. Maybe we feel like we're ready to maybe lift that set of toes off the mat. And then right away we feel the engagement through the core. So just play with that. Now I just want to show the chair options if you're staying seated. So weight into the right foot. The sequence we're going to be moving into is, first of all, we've lifted onto the toes. Maybe we can lift the feet off the mat. And then we're going to be moving through some dynamic balance, optional dynamic balance from standing. And if you're in the chair, it's going to look like lifting and lowering the foot. So you'll feel a bit of work in the quad, maybe even a bit of work in the glutes, definitely if you're standing. And you can add arms in if you'd like, or not. So that's your option in the chair, and then we'll switch sides. All right, let's do this. So however we're feeling, let's see if we can step the foot back by leaning forward a little bit, taking a big step back. Toes will touch down. We can check in here. You'll feel balance work even in this high lunge. Hands can be at heart center. They can even be reaching long if we're feeling extra tall. We're going to take a breath here, and then we're going to start with that dynamic movement. Options for the movement is arms stay still wherever you have them, and we step in and toes touch down, and then we step back. Or hands wherever you want to keep them. We step in and lift the knee. I'm going to end up hitting my chair a bit. We try our best, and then we step back. So options, remember, stepping the toes in, stepping them back. So we're challenging this movement, this balance. Woo! Remember, you can change options for hands at any time. And we're going to do 4 more. Keep trying different options for 3, for 2. Last one. Step it back. Use your prop. Step up. Lower the foot down. We're going to move straight into a tree pose. So we're still kind of balancing on this right leg. It's getting a bit of a workout. Come back up onto the toes, and we'll find our tree pose by turning the knee out, the left knee out. Maybe it connects to our ankle, maybe our shin. Maybe we can bring it all the way up to our inner thigh. We just don't want to rest it on our knee, so find what works for you. Try and even out the hips, either using a support or finding any variation of tree branches, tree arms. Woo! Let's find our breath in tree. If you're feeling really stable, you may want to look up or close your eyes. Still balancing on that right leg. One more breath. Let's see if we can bring it all down and curl it in. So we're going to go straight into our eagle pose. So still on that right leg. I know we're getting some strength and balance. Cross that left leg over. See how tightly we can squeeze the legs together. Use your prop if you'd like. And hands can come to hips or heart center. They can stay here. They can wrap around and give ourselves a big hug. Or we can come into our full eagle arms here and bring the palms of the hands together. So now we're feeling that opening through the back. We might want to even round down a bit. The other postures were so open and wide. We're just giving the backside body a moment here. If you're in the chair seated, cross those legs in nice and tight. Find your choice of arms, lean forward. 2 more breaths. 1 more. All right, let's come out of it. Open up. Oh, now we get to shake out that right leg. Woo, that was a lot on that right leg. Good news, right side's done. Bad news, left side coming up. Again, you don't have to swing your chair around. I'm just, so that I'm in camera, swinging my chair around this way. We're going to go to the other side. So let's take a moment, first of all, to just find that strength, that sense of calm, coming back to our motto or mantra. I am balanced. I am here. And then we'll transfer all the way into our left foot this time. Come up on those right toes. Maybe we're hands at heart center, on hips. Maybe we're holding onto our chair, or any variation of arms that can change at any time. Maybe we can even lift the toes off and we're feeling nice and strong and balanced here. Maybe we can start to hinge forward as if we're going into our warrior 3 and take that big step back with our right toes. So we're in this kind of long line of energy, high lunge, hands wherever they are keeping us stable. We're feeling the balance work here. And if you're in the chair, you're going to lift and straighten that opposite leg. So feel work in the opposite quad. Here we go. Let's see if we can find a bit of dynamic balance in the standing posture as well. All right, let's step in. Whoop, and back. Remember, other options, stepping in, toes touch down, and back. Whoops, remember, option to hold onto the chair, and back. Maybe one arm reaches up, one knee up, and back. We have one more here. I'm gonna give it my all and see if I can do all the balance. Woo, step back one more time, and then step up. Good. We're gonna come into our tree. So we're still on that left leg, weight into the left foot, up onto the right toes, right knee facing out to the side, finding your tree variation on this side. Might be the same. You might want to try something different. Maybe you want to bring the leg up higher, but you need a little help balancing using your prop. That's fine. Just make sure not to lose the engagement and lose the energy rooting down into the mat. If the prop is helping you, that's great. If it's kind of you're becoming a crutch and depending on it, that's not what we want. Maybe you can release the hand in that case. We're going to find 3 more breaths. Whoops. And if you fall out, no problem, 2 more breaths. And 1 more. Let's lower it down. If you need a little micro shake, go for it. Otherwise, cross that right leg nice and tightly over left. Maybe even the toes wrap around. Try to square off the hips, arms anywhere that you feel balanced. Maybe you're giving yourself a hug. And if you're coming into the eagle arm, sweep the opposite arm underneath, round down, find 3 breaths in eagle. Breathe into the backside body. Squeeze the thighs. This is a nice closed posture. 1 more breath. On the next inhale, let's come up, open it all up. Good. Exhale, shake it out. Okay, I promised that we would do our stretching sequences seated in the chair. Again, if you don't have a chair, just making your way down to the mat, and any of these stretches are possible on the mat. So from our chair, settling back in, catching our breath. Maybe we should just close our eyes, take a few breaths here. Settle back in, reconnect. Come back to the present. Stop worrying about how easy or hard or different all of those balance postures were. They're in the past now. They don't mean anything. They are what they are. They were what they were. All right, let's start to stretch it out. So to begin with, let's take our right foot, cross it over left knee, and we're gonna come into our figure 4. So if you're on the floor, option is to do a seated figure 4, or you may even wanna roll down to your back and do a seated figure 4, and you can reach your hands through, draw the legs in towards your body. If we're in the chair, we want to create a nice wide open figure 4 here, a bit of energy through this flexed foot. You may already be feeling a nice stretch, or you may want a little bit more, in which case you want to start to hinge forward until you can feel the sensation and the sort of amount of stretch you'd be looking for in your outer right hip. Option, if you're looking for more, is to fold all the way down. You can reach your hands down towards the floor, or maybe you have a block here where you can stay nice and lifted and supported. Not putting too much weight on this knee, but it's okay to gently guide the knee a little bit. That will help increase the depth of the stretch as well. Let's find 3 big long breaths here. One more breath. On your inhale, let's come on up. Instead of uncrossing the leg, just like in our tree and eagle, we're gonna cross the leg in even tighter. So if you're on the floor, you can do this as well. Maybe you're gonna reach for ankles. We did that one last week, and draw the knees in towards your chest if you're on your back. If you're seated on the floor, option is to have both legs bent and you'd be in a cow. I'll just show you. Here's the floor option. So we went from our seated figure 4 to now crossing the legs in even more, but you may want to straighten out the bottom leg, or you may want to tuck it in and you find yourself in a cow face pose. All right, that's the floor option. I realized I was kind of talking too much and it might have just been easier to show it. All right, I'm back. Let's cross those legs in nice and tight. Let's take a big inhale here. Let's exhale. Let's draw the hands through heart center. Take another inhale. You can stay here if it's feeling good and stretchy, or you might want to exhale, twist. See if you can hook left elbow over right knee and then press into the prayer hands here to open up towards the side. And now we'll feel a nice stretch down the side bodies, maybe even down the back of the arm here, and definitely, hopefully, increasing that stretch down the right outer leg and hip. Squeezing the thighs in. Let's take 2 more breaths here. All right, let's inhale, come up, release, and step it wide. Let's do a nice forward fold. Shake the head yes or no. Fold forward on the mat if you're there. And then we'll come on all the way up. Step the feet back in. Lift and flex the left ankle, cross it over right knee, and we'll do that sequence on the other side. So we're coming into our figure 4. So again, maybe seated, lying down, or in the chair with me. Gently guiding that left knee open a little bit, feeling the sensation of stretch down the side, and choosing if you'd like to fold forward a little bit or melt down a lot, reaching towards the floor or a block. I am going right here, right in the middle. We've got 2 more breaths. Don't rush them. On the inhale, come on up. Good, let's cross that leg in even tighter. So remember, on the floor, you may want to extend that bottom leg or curl it underneath and you're in a full cow pose, cow facing pose. In the chair here, just squeeze in nice and tight. Feel the work and the stretch. Take a big inhale. Exhale the hands through heart center. Pause here, inhale again. And then exhale, twist. And see if we can hook opposite elbow over our knee. Press into the prayer hand. So really press here to open the heart space up towards the side of the room. You can maybe even look over your elbow. Keep squeezing the legs in tight. Two more breaths. Take an inhale here. Untwist. Good. Open everything up. Maybe step the feet wide again. Forward fold. Shake that head out, yes and no. Come on, back up. If you'd like to finish your practice seated or lying down on the mat, by all means, go ahead, roll down, find a nice comfortable position on your back. Your knees can be bent, maybe stepping the feet wide, let the knees knock in, or they can be straight out in front of you, lying on your mat, taking up as much space as you can. If you're in the chair, settle in. Same thing as the beginning, if you have a bit of a backing to your chair, don't be afraid to use it. Let's settle in. We just don't want to slouch. We just want to make sure we're using it to help us relax completely for our Shavasana. Now, if there's any other stretches, postures, or breath work you need to do before moving into Shavasana, by all means, go for it. Find those postures and those moments here now. If you're ready to start bringing it all down, closing up your practice, maybe closing the eyes if it feels comfortable. If not, just finding something to rest your gaze on softly. And start to scan your body. Notice if there are any areas you're still holding on to any tension, and just breathe a little loving kindness that way. See if you can let it go. Shavasana is the time for our physical and energetic bodies to absorb all that good work we just did and turn it into something magical. It's a time for integration and rest. Know that rest is different from sleep and that we need both every day, and we should never pass up an opportunity to just rest and do nothing. And the beauty of practicing through the video lens is that if you want or need to stay in Shavasana longer, you can let the video play out or press pause here and just stay for as long as you want. If you're ready to bring some movement to your body and get on with your day or your evening, go ahead and start wiggling through fingers and toes. Maybe circle wrists and ankles. Maybe you want to reach long, take a big breath, or curl into a little ball, give yourself a big hug. Just before making your way over to your favorite side and up to a comfortable seated position, whether that's on the floor or with me in the chair here. Once you make it to your seated position, let's all take a big breath together. Let's inhale, sweep our arms up overhead. Exhale, gather all that good energy and draw it in towards your heart center. Hands can rest at heart center in prayer or down on your lap, wherever you feel most comfortable. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide and for allowing me into your personal private yoga practice spaces. It means everything to me, and I can't wait to practice with you here again next week. Until then, take care. Thanks, everyone. That felt energetic, and because it's so hot where I am, it felt like a bit of a workout. I hope it was exactly what you needed this week, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.